Have you ever wondered why being an INFJ feels like living in a world that was never designed for you? Where every breath feels like carrying the weight of hidden truths that nobody else dares to say out loud. Where the very core of your existence is both a mystery and a threat to the people around you. And where the truths you carry are so shocking, so unsettling, that even you sometimes wish you could unsee them, unknow them, and simply walk blind into the comforting illusions that everyone else seems to thrive on? Welcome, dear INFJ, to a space where your truths are not silenced, not mocked, not watered down, but spoken raw, unfiltered, and with the emotional weight they deserve. Because today, we're diving into the shocking truths about INFJs, not the sugar-coated ones, not the popular. INFJs are rare and empathetic, clichés, but the deeper, darker, more unsettling realities that only those who carry this identity in their blood and bones will fully understand. These are the truths you've always known, buried deep in your chest, hidden behind your smile, and protected behind your silence. The truths that make you feel both cursed and gifted, both chosen and isolated, both powerful and unbearably fragile. And as we unfold them one by one, you'll see yourself reflected in every word, because this is not about them, it's about you. So sit with me, breathe deeply, and prepare yourself, because these are the shocking INFJ truths that most people will never be able to handle, but you have lived with every single day of your life. 1. You see the mask before you see the face. From the very first moment you meet someone, before they even open their mouth, before they reveal their crafted persona, you already see the mask, the performance, the carefully designed image that they've polished for years to convince the world that they are acceptable, lovable, worthy. For most people, the mask is enough. They don't question it. They take people at face value. They buy into the illusion because it's easier, less exhausting, and more convenient to just nod and accept what's presented. But you, dear INFJ, cannot do that. You see the mask before you see the person, and what shocks people is that you see right through it. This is why people feel exposed around you, even if you've said nothing, even if you've just quietly listened with your head tilted in silence. They feel your gaze reaching into places they've never let anyone enter. And while some may be grateful for it, most feel threatened, terrified even, because you strip away their mask without lifting a finger. And here's the darker part of this truth, because you see the mask before the face, you often forget that the mask exists for a reason. Sometimes it's there to protect a fragile heart, sometimes it's there to hide unbearable wounds, sometimes it's there to hold a person together who would otherwise collapse. And while you crave the raw, unfiltered essence of a soul, you also carry the guilt of knowing that not everyone can handle being seen that deeply, not everyone wants to be understood, and not everyone is ready for their truth to be mirrored back at them. This shocking truth leaves you with a choice. Do you honor the mask and play along, or do you confront the truth you've already seen, knowing it could either free or destroy them? And this choice is something that weighs heavily on you, over and over again, because no matter how much you try to ignore it, you will always see through the mask. 2. Your empathy feels like a curse as much as a gift. People glorify INFJs as empaths, as compassionate healers, as selfless souls who can tune into emotions like radio frequencies. And while that's true, here's the shocking part they don't talk about. Sometimes your empathy feels less like a gift and more like a curse that you never asked for, a relentless flood of emotions that are not yours but feel like they are burning holes into your chest. You can't walk into a room without absorbing the unspoken atmosphere, without carrying home the unprocessed grief of strangers, without feeling drained by the silent rage of someone sitting across from you. You pick up the details no one notices. The tightening of a jaw, the shift of a tone, the avoidance in someone's eyes. And while others walk away unaffected, you walk away carrying burdens that aren't even yours. The shocking truth is that your empathy can destroy you if you don't protect it. It can leave you sleepless at night, haunted by emotions that don't belong to you. It can make you question your sanity when you're overwhelmed by feelings no one else seems to acknowledge. And it can make you vulnerable to emotional predators who see your sensitivity not as beauty but as opportunity. Yes, empathy makes you powerful. Yes, it makes you capable of deep connection. Yes, it makes you a rare soul who can heal others. But at what cost? Because every time you take in someone's pain, a part of you dies quietly, and nobody notices. That's the shocking part, the invisible suffering behind the beautiful gift. 3. You hide more than anyone will ever know. INFJs are often seen as mysterious, private, hard to read, and that's not by accident. The shocking truth is that you hide more than anyone will ever know, and you do it so seamlessly that people often mistake your silence for openness, when in reality it's your greatest shield. You may appear vulnerable, sharing fragments of yourself, telling stories that seem raw and intimate, but the truth is, you've carefully chosen what to reveal. For every piece of yourself you share, there are 100 pieces you've locked away. For every tear you allow to fall in front of someone, there are oceans of grief you've shed alone in the dark. This secrecy is not about deception, it's about survival. Because you know that if people ever saw the full depth of you, if they ever touched the core of your mind, they wouldn't understand, they might even reject you, and the rejection of your authentic self would shatter you in ways that small misunderstandings never could. So you hide. You smile. You nod. You listen. You give people what they think they want, while keeping your most sacred truths buried in silence. And the shocking part? Most people never even realize how much of you they'll never truly know. 4. Your intuition terrifies people. You've had moments where you said something so accurate, so precise, that the person in front of you froze, stared at you wide-eyed, and demanded to know how you could possibly know that. And you didn't know how to explain it, you just knew. Your intuition is not a guessing game, not a lucky strike, but a constant hum in the background of your mind, weaving together patterns, absorbing details, processing unspoken truths, and delivering insights that sometimes feel almost supernatural. The shocking part is not that you have this ability, the shocking part is how much it terrifies people. Because when you speak their truth out loud, when you predict the ending of a story they haven't even admitted to themselves, when you uncover a betrayal they thought was invisible, you don't just read their mind, you expose their soul. And here's the heavy burden. Your intuition isn't always something you can turn off. Sometimes you know things you wish you didn't. Sometimes you see endings you'd rather avoid. Sometimes you carry knowledge that isolates you because you can't tell anyone without sounding insane. Your intuition is your compass, your guide, your warning system, but it also isolates you, shocks people into silence, and leaves you walking a path that few will ever truly understand. 5. You love with a ferocity that scares even you. When an INFJ loves, it's not light, casual, or simple. It's consuming, unconditional, and terrifying in its intensity. You don't fall in love. You dive into it, body and soul, risking everything, holding nothing back. The shocking truth is that your love is both your greatest power and your greatest danger. Because when you love someone, you don't just love who they are. You love who they could be, who they're becoming, who they don't even see in themselves yet. You see their potential, their beauty, their light, and you pour yourself into nurturing it. But this love, this ferocity, often leaves you shattered. Because not everyone can handle being loved that deeply. Not everyone wants to be seen that clearly. And not everyone is capable of returning the same depth of devotion. You've scared people away with your love. You've overwhelmed them, confused them, even made them run. And you've broken yourself trying to hold on to people who couldn't swim in the ocean of your devotion. The shocking truth is that your love is rare, breathtaking, and life-changing, but it can also be the very thing that destroys you if it's not received with the same intensity. 6. You are both old soul and child at heart. One of the most shocking contradictions about being an INFJ is that you exist in two realities at once. You are ancient in your wisdom, carrying insights and emotional depth that feel like they've been gathered across lifetimes, yet inside you also burns the fragile, playful innocence of a child who just wants to love freely and live without the crushing weight of the world. People are often stunned by this paradox. One moment you're speaking about profound truths of life, articulating things that philosophers struggle to explain, offering a kind of maturity that makes others pause in reverence, and the next, you're laughing with childlike wonder at something small, silly, or pure, as though the heaviness of the world hasn't scarred you at all. The shocking part is that both realities are true, and both are essential to your survival. The old soul inside you carries the wisdom that grounds you, helps you read people, and equips you to guide others. But the child within you is what keeps you from collapsing under the unbearable weight of that wisdom. Without the childlike spirit, you would drown in your insight. Without the old soul, you would be lost in naivety. The world often struggles to understand how both can live within one person. But for you, INFJ, it's not just possible, it's necessary. You are both ageless and timeless, both weary with ancient truths and alive with innocent wonder. And that balance is what makes you so uniquely shocking to those who encounter you. 7. You're capable of darkness deeper than anyone realizes. People paint INFJs as healers, helpers, givers, angels of light. And while it's true that you are capable of incredible compassion and kindness, here's a truth so shocking that even you may struggle to admit it. You are also capable of darkness that runs deeper than most people could ever imagine. It's not that you want to be cruel or destructive, it's that you understand darkness in a way that others don't. You've walked through it, you've touched it, you've tasted it in your quiet nights of despair, and because of that, you carry within you a shadow self that can be both dangerous and powerful. When pushed too far, when betrayed beyond repair, when your loyalty is abused one time too many, your darkness can awaken. And it's not explosive rage like some personalities express. No, your darkness is cold, calculated, deliberate. It is the silence that freezes the room. It is the withdrawal of your warmth, the severing of connection, the shutting of the door with finality that can leave others gasping for breath, wondering how someone so gentle could become so ruthless. The shocking truth is that your light is only as powerful as your shadow. You cannot heal without understanding pain. You cannot nurture without recognizing cruelty. You cannot offer guidance without having walked through chaos yourself. And though most people will never see this darker side of you, those who do will never forget it, because your darkness, when unleashed, is not a loss of control, but an assertion of it. 8. You constantly question your own sanity. Here's a truth most INFJs keep hidden. No matter how wise, insightful, or intuitive you appear to others, deep down you constantly question your own sanity. You notice things no one else does. You connect dots others insist don't exist. You feel emotions that people swear aren't there. You predict outcomes that others laugh off until they come true. And while your track record of being right should reassure you, instead it often makes you feel more isolated, more unsure of yourself, more convinced that maybe you are the strange one, the broken one, the one who doesn't belong. This self-doubt can eat at you. It can make you second-guess your own feelings, silence yourself when you should speak, and withdraw into isolation because you're terrified of being misunderstood or dismissed as crazy. The shocking truth is that your sanity is not the problem. It's that the world is blind to what you can see. And while others walk in ignorance, you walk in hyper-awareness. The real insanity would be ignoring what your intuition screams at you. But because your reality doesn't align with the majority, you bear the heavy burden of questioning yourself again and again. This silent war inside your mind is something few will ever see, but it's one of the most shocking truths of your inner world. That the person who seems so put together, so perceptive, so wise, is quietly wondering if they are unraveling beneath it all. 9. You destroy yourself for others without them knowing. INFJs are known as givers, but here's the shocking truth no one talks about. You don't just give, you sacrifice, and you do it so quietly that people rarely even notice. You'll stay up all night listening to someone else's problems, while your own tears fall in silence when you're alone. You'll give your last ounce of energy to lift someone up, even if it leaves you unable to stand. You'll carry guilt that doesn't belong to you, pain that isn't yours, and burdens you should have never picked up, all because you can't bear to watch someone else suffer. And the shocking part? Most of the people you sacrifice for never even realize it. They see your calm smile, your willingness to help, your soft presence, and they assume it costs you nothing. They don't see the sleepless nights, the drained soul, the shattered body that comes after. This truth is devastating because it leaves you feeling invisible, unappreciated, and used. You love so fiercely that you destroy yourself quietly, and in the end, you're often left wondering, who will ever love me the way I love them? Who will ever notice the sacrifices I've made? 10. You can walk away without looking back. People assume that because you're gentle, empathetic, and loyal, you'll always stay. Always forgive, always give one more chance. But here's the shocking truth. When an INFJ decides it's truly over, when you've reached the breaking point where your trust has been shattered beyond repair, you can walk away without a trace of hesitation, and you will never look back. This shocks people because they think they own endless chances with you. They think your compassion is limitless, your patience eternal. They think they can keep betraying you and you'll always come back. But the INFJ door slam is real, and when it happens, it is final. When you walk away, you don't just leave the relationship, you erase it. You cut the energetic tie. You remove their presence from your heart and soul. And while others may beg, cry, or bargain, you will not return, because you've already grieved the loss in silence long before you ever left. The shocking part is that people never see it coming. To them, it feels sudden. To you, it was inevitable. And this power, the ability to sever a bond so completely, is one of the most shocking truths about being an INFJ. Because while your love may be eternal, your tolerance for betrayal is not. 11. You carry the weight of the world alone. INFJs rarely let anyone see how much they carry. You'll smile, reassure others, and play the role of the strong one, but behind closed doors, you're holding the weight of countless stories, secrets, emotions, and expectations that no one else even knows you're bearing. This truth is shocking because people assume your calmness means you're unaffected. They don't see that you've taken in everyone's storms and made them your own. They don't see that your silence is not emptiness but heaviness. And they don't realize that while they walk lighter after speaking with you, you walk heavier, because you carry not just your own pain but theirs as well. 12. You are always preparing for loss. One of the hidden truths about INFJs is that you're always preparing for things to fall apart. You anticipate endings before they happen. You grieve relationships while they're still alive. You carry a quiet awareness that nothing lasts, and so you're never fully surprised when people leave, when love fades, or when bonds break. This truth shocks people because they think you're naive or overly hopeful, when in reality, you've been bracing yourself for the inevitable loss all along. It's not that you're pessimistic, it's that you've seen the patterns too many times. 13. You are attracted to brokenness, but it breaks you. INFJs are healers, and that means you're often drawn to people who are wounded, damaged, or lost. You see their potential. You see the light hidden beneath their pain. You love the broken pieces because you believe they can be made whole. But here's the shocking truth. While you pour your soul into healing others, you often end up bleeding yourself dry. You take on their wounds as if they are your own, and in the process, you neglect your own healing. This truth is heartbreaking because it leaves you torn between your desire to save others and your need to save yourself. And too often, you choose them over you. 14. You are both rare and lonely because of it. The final shocking truth is the one you've always felt but rarely admit. You are rare, and because of that, you are lonely. Being one of the rarest personality types in the world means that few people will ever truly understand you, few people will ever see you as you are, and few people will ever meet you at the depth where you live. This loneliness is not about being surrounded by people or not. You can be in a crowded room and still feel completely alone. It's the loneliness of being different, of being misunderstood, of carrying truths that others can't even comprehend. And while your rarity makes you extraordinary, it also isolates you. That's the shocking paradox of your existence. You are rare enough to change lives, but so rare that you often feel invisible in your own. So there you have it. The shocking truths about INFJs that the world is rarely ready to hear but that you've been living with every single day. You see the mask before the face. You carry empathy that feels like a curse. You hide more than anyone realizes. Your intuition terrifies. Your love consumes. Your soul carries contradictions. Your shadow runs deep. Your self-doubt haunts you. Your sacrifices go unseen. Your goodbye is final. Your burdens are heavy. Your heart prepares for loss. Your attraction to brokenness breaks you, and your rarity makes you lonely. But listen carefully. These shocking truths do not make you weak, they make you extraordinary. They do not make you cursed, they make you chosen. They do not make you broken, they make you beautifully whole in ways others will never understand. And as much as these truths isolate you, they also unite you with the rare few who walk the same path. Because if you've felt every word of this script resonate in your soul, you are not alone. You are an INFJ, and this is your truth.